You know what? I've been thinking of something for 3 months. I've been maining Androids my whole life, and they're mostly e-waste garbage. I wanted this to change. I still can't afford to drop thousands for brand new phones. So, out of the benevolence, someone decided to send over something so that I can stop using shitty e-waste phones for longer. I got a package sent over from Poland. I've been wanting to say that for 9 months. And yep, after 13 years of suffering in the wrong side, I'm going Apple. Opening the box, we see the phone itself. And that's it, nothing else. I guess after 13 years since my first Android phone back in 2013, I finally held an iPhone outside an Apple store. And also the first iPhone in the house. Pathetic, I know. I got the 12 mini. And this thing feels really small after getting used to bigger phones, and I love it. I'm first gonna talk about the condition of this thing. I don't know how the previous owner treated and or used this thing, caseless or not, but the housing is somewhat rough. I'm glad the back glass and the screen is immaculate though. When I first booted it up, the battery is flat, and since the cable's not in the box, I'll be charging it via a power bank with an included lightning cable. I left it alone for like 2 minutes and it turned on its own. Upon entering the passcode, and yep, this is from Poland. Give me a few seconds to erase this and setting it up as if I got it brand new. And give me 4 days to come up with a conclusion. After 4 days of manning this iPhone, here's what I think about it. It's good, it's great, it's the best thing I've ever had. And why would I say that so soon? Because it's the first ever phone I've used that never suggests me to get a lobotomy every time I wanted to use it. Not wanting to name names here, this is a fair and honest experience video. And did I mention that I got this for free? Yep, I do, except the taxes that I have to pay, but ignoring those, I essentially got this for free. And it's the best free thing I've ever gotten for now. I'm just gonna get started with my first impressions with this 12 mini. I've said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. It's small, and at the same time, it's a sensible size. As someone who had been daily driving Androids with bigger screens, I usually find myself difficult with holding the phone and actually using it one-handed sometimes, even though I have a somewhat massive hands. Whereas this 12 mini, I can use it one-handed no problem, and it feels so good to type. Or just interact with the phone in general. The Face ID on this thing is really fast, works in the dark, and most of the times I forget that it's there. 5 to 6 year old phone by the way. Aside from the Face ID being quick, so is the storage. I can download apps and jump straight into the app without needing to wait a really long time just for it to install. And the thing that made this stuff so quick are the Apple A14. Literally, the A14 is almost 6 generations old at this point, and it's still kicking ass. I can go around the software however I like and it won't stutter. Not even a little bit. I won't show you what made me suffer mentally for a long time by the way. That's just unfair. Really unfair. And RAM management on this thing is also really good. I can cycle through apps absolutely fine. The silent switch. Nothing much to say about this, except that it's just useful. I don't need no action button. The speakers on this thing are outstanding. It's a nice feeling to have stereo speakers after 13 years on mono speakers. 5G? It's there. And I haven't tried it yet, thanks to my carrier having almost no reception at all in my own room. But it's there, I guess. The last owner of this phone fortunately left this thing on iOS 18. And I think I'll come back to this topic later. But nothing about iPhones are 100% good. there are some stuff that are just meh to me. First and most obvious, when you turn on the display, and if your ADHDs decide to look up to the notch, it will start to bother you. If you're used to just having a hole in your screen. I mean, the notch on the 12 mini, to me, I barely notice it because I'm always on dark mode and I have a dark wallpaper. But when I start thinking about it, it really hits. Apple made the notch smaller on the 13 mini if I have to include this. Lightning. We do love proprietary hardware around here. I just switched to the Galaxy A30 almost last year and was happy that I finally break free from micro USB after years of using old phones, and now I have to go back to a cable that's not USB-C again, especially the cable that nobody in the house uses. Had to get a cable myself from a local DIY store. Headphone jack. This may be surprising to some for being on the meh list, but yeah, having no headphone jack surely is a criminal. Pretty much every Garbo phones I've used in the past has a headphone jack, and I never utilize any. That's why having no headphone jack didn't bother me. Well, until I got a new headset where the connector is a 3.5mm pin. And guess who was using which phone that has a headphone jack and now has a phone that doesn't have one? Slightly annoying, but I really don't care. I like blasting the speakers anyways. La la la, just walking in the park at 33 Celsius in the sun. La la la, hopefully nothing will remind me of my bad times. Oh my god, it's my old phone. Oh my god, it's my old phone. And considering the date today is March 1st, oh my god, it's almost 1 year anniversary of this thing kaput itself and put me in 3 months of agony. Oh my god! Let's do a slow-mo test of this iPhone. And now, I guess let's stop glazing so much so that none of you assume that I was paid to say all this. Let's just rewind back from the beginning. What iPhone did I get again? That's right, the iPhone 12 mini. And what do people are mostly concerned when getting a used phone? The battery! This 12 mini was bought back in somewhere around 2022. And 4 years later, this one has 80% battery health. At least that's what the battery health apparently meant to be. Once it's left Poland, into a plane, across continents, when I got it, the battery health is an astonishing 75%. Apparently, it lost 5% battery health from being in a plane. And the battery health somehow decreased 5% is probably not a good sign. And this can be proved by how many times this thing overheat on me sometimes every 10 minutes. And speaking of overheating, whenever it does that, the audio gets lower and lower and sometimes no audio at all. Had to wait until it cools down before I can hear audio again. And lastly, 64 gigabytes. It started to become an issue to me because, well, iOS. I just got this thing and the storage is at 41 gigs occupied out of 64 gigabytes. And with that said, I'm staying on iOS 18. Considering iOS 18 weighs 16 gigabytes, iOS 26 might steal like 25 gigabytes or something just for liquid ass. And considering this video exists, there is no more justification for me to update this beautiful blue phone. Especially when I got this for free as a gift. Well, honestly, I guess that's all. I don't have any more complaints other than those. Whoa. Are you telling me that I have to make comments about iOS too? Fine. I'm trying to minimize my bias towards Android versus iPhone malarkey, but in my opinion, it's easier to get used to iPhone than Android. To me at least. In fact, it only took me an hour to get used to iOS and I loved it. I only have 1 or 2 complaints about iOS, but they were mostly iffy and don't bother me as much. And I guess that's it. It has been a nice experience so far. Just another clarification to be made, I am not paid by Apple to say all this. However, I'm switching to Apple once and for all. Looking forward to get more Apple products like MacBooks and all that jazz, Honda, just so I could stop using this whole Hackintosh thing because it's dead. I'm also looking forward to getting an iPhone 15 or something if I'm lucky. And yes, I am not going back to the other side that ruined my mental health for the past 13 years. Complain however you want in the comments about me not using newer Androids or whatnot. I'm too fucking broke to spend hundreds to thousands for a phone. Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. And yes, this whole video was scripted on an iPhone. I can finally stop leaving my computer on for almost 37 hours not doing anything.